Thammasat University has a proud history that spans over 8 decades. Our founding philosophy, to serve the people, has been a true spirit of Thammasat that passes on from one generation to another. At Thammasat, we value freedom of learning. First started off as an open university to provide ordinary people with higher education. Thammasat has, today, grown into a comprehensive institution of higher learning, offering students with world-class education and the free spirit to think, learn, and experience the world. At Thammasat, learning is exploring. As a leading research university, Thammasat offers education in a full range of academic disciplines, social sciences and humanities. Science and technology, and health sciences. Learning at Thammasat is based on hands-on experiences, using problem-solving and knowledge-sharing approaches so that students can explore for themselves ways to solve problems. Thammasat has a far-reaching international network that spans across the globe. Our cutting-edge technology and support research facilities, combined with active learning approaches, allow Thammasat students to develop their potentials to the fullest. At Thammasat, learning is happiness. Thammasat offers fun-filled experiences that nurtures creative mind and healthy body. With a great variety of sports and recreational activities on campus, to cater to everyone's needs and lifestyle. Thammasat, we strive for excellence. Academic excellence and cutting-edge research is well integrated into teaching and academic activities. This leads to creation of research projects that contribute significantly to the advancement of the academics as well as the society at large. At Thammasat, we take great pride in our achievements and long-standing spirits as University for the People. We'll continue to create the next generation leaders by equipping them with critical minds, intellectual caliber, consciousness of virtue, and the legendary Thammasat spirit to serve the people. Thammasat has, for 8 decades, been a place where leaders have been groomed to serve the nation and the world. Thammasat University, where we learn to love the people.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome to Thammasat EFMD Seminars on Partnership for SDGs. I'm Steve.
And I'm G. Thayal. On behalf of MC of Thammasat, we are honored to be a Master of Ceremonies presentation. Today, I'm very glad that you are here with us today so that we can all attend the event of Thammasat EFMD Seminars on Partnership for SDGs.
Firstly, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Eric Vice Rector for Administration on Thammasat Campus and International Affairs, to give us a welcome speech. Please welcome.
Professor Eric Cornuel, EFMD President, Rector Designate EFMD Board of Trustees. On behalf of the organizing committee of today's seminar, our distinguished speakers, guests, and participants, I would like to express our appreciation to both of you for accepting the invitation to preside over and to speak at today's event. Thammasat and EFMD Seminars on Partnership for SDGs. EFMD is the leading global network for business schools and corporate partners. It has been at the forefront of raising the standards of management education around the world. With nearly 1,000 member organizations from academia, business, public service, and consultancy from over 92 different countries. EFMD remains a crucial driver in grooming socially responsible leaders and managers around the world. With its emphasis on internationalizing partnership models for leadership, professional talent, and organizational development, EFMD presents Excellence in Practice Awards to outstanding projects annually. During the seminars today, 3 winning cases will be presented. First, Live for Good and CDEP Global Executive Education Club. Second, the Associate of Entrepreneurship Development School Model Community. And the Moscow School Management School Model. Last, the Thammasat model by Thammasat University. We will learn how EFMD has had a profound impact on management education in the past decades. I would also like to note that the event today would not be possible with generous assistance from Thai PBS, a national broadcaster that is broadcasting the seminar to a global audience. Without further ado, please allow me to invite Associate Professor J.C. Rector of Thammasat University and member of the EFMD Board of Trustees to address the seminar.
กล้องนี้เรื่องการเปิดบ้าน
Distinguished guests, professors, and students, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of Thammasat University, I'm delighted and honored to welcome all of you to participate in Thammasat and EFMD Seminar on Partnership for SDGs. Thammasat University and EFMD are co-hosting this virtual seminar in order to create global forum where experts and concerned parties can cooperatively contribute to achieving SDG targets. I would like to thank EFMD President Eric Cornuel for joining us today as a keynote speaker. EFMD innovation over the years have had significant impact and will continue to transform management, education. It is a great honor for me to be a member of EFMD Board of Trustees, where I am committed to supporting initiatives to create social innovation to resolve emerging global challenges while upholding the values of ethics, responsibility, and sustainability. Thammasat has always been committed to be a world-class university for the people by introducing innovation that have had significant social impact in China and for global community. Today, it is a privilege for Thammasat to collaborate with EFMD with seminars which organized to showcase 3 distinguished projects which won EFMD Excellence in Practice Award. I'm confident that the experience, knowledge, and insight we gain today will provide all participants with valuable and relevant information that can help our institution thrive during this challenging period. So finally, I wish all of you a success conference. Thank you very much.
Associate Professor J.C. EFMD Board of Trustees and Thammasat University Rector, and Associate Professor Dr. Surat Thirathapibal, Vice Rector of Administration of Thammasat Campus and International Affairs. Next, I would like to invite Professor Dr. Eric Cornuel, President of EFMD Global, to give us the importance of updates on EFMD speech. Please welcome.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, hello. Can you hear me? Can you hear me well? Yeah. Good, perfect. So, first of all, thank you very much for having invited me to this joint event. I'm delighted to be with you. Of course, I would be even more delighted to be with you in Thailand. I mean, your marvelous country. but unfortunately, the current situation doesn't allow us to do so. We had a small problem with the sharing of the slide, but I will be helped, I guess, by the technique. So as an introduction, I would like to say very quickly that EFMD is, as Ghassini said, a strong advocate of the social and environmental imperatives that must accompany business practices today. Our commitment is to offer professionals and institutions involved with management, learning, and organizational development the opportunity to be part of a dynamic, I would say relevant and diverse network, sharing the common objective of developing effective and, of course, socially responsible leaders and managers. This has been a sort of permanent action from EFMD. Through our activities, publications, projects, research, we aim to contribute to the advancement of goals related to human rights, responsible management, ethics, corporate sustainability, inclusive economy, poverty alleviation, of course, and mitigation of climate change. EFMD has initiated, managed, cooperated with endorsed, of course, numerous multi-stakeholder organizations and initiatives active in the area of responsible business and management education. You certainly know many of them, if not all of them: the United Nations Global Compact, the GRLI, so the Globally Responsible Leadership Initiative, RRBM, the Responsible Research in Business and Management, led by Anne Tsui, Business and Society Gateway, ABIS, the Sully Test, and Prime, just to mention a few. So as an introduction, this is pretty much what I wanted to say. I've been requested to talk a bit about EFMD, so this is what I'm going to do now. I hope I won't be too boring. So if you can put the next slide, please. So a quick element about EFMD. So EFMD, we were founded in 1972. So as you can see, we are going to celebrate soon our 50th anniversary. And our mission is to act as a catalyst to promote and enhance excellence in management development globally. So this is under this umbrella that we develop our strategy. We are, of course, a not-for-profit international organization, and we have members coming from many parts of the ecosystem. Of course, a majority of business schools, but we have also very important companies with us, public administration, and some big consulting firms. We want to be a bridge between those two very critical, very important worlds, the corporate and the management education world. Sometimes they are not cooperating that much. So we are trying to improve that and push it forward. And of course, the Excellence in Practice Award is definitely one of the benchmarks, one of the initiatives that we have taken to bridge those two constituencies. I mean, as it is written here, we are a community. We are very diverse. We have extremely important and prestigious business schools, but we have also small ones that we help grow. We also welcome everybody. I think in all the events that we have, we tend to be extremely inclusive, and this is for us extremely important. We are all in the same boat. Impact has been our priority for a very long time. It's very funny to see some of our colleagues in the management education associations rediscovering the importance of impact nowadays. This has been a sort of permanent worry and very critical element for us. Excellence is also clearly the name of the game. This is by pushing institutions to do better, that at the end of the day, the whole system, the whole profession moves forward. Behind that, there is, of course, a purpose, a global purpose, to address those challenges of enhancing the quality in management development. And by management development, of course, I have a very broad view, not talking only about management education and research, but also how it is developed in companies and public administrations. So this is for us very, very critical. Next slide, please. So just to give you an idea of our membership, we are just below 1,000 members in 90 countries. You can see here the geographical spread. So if we take Asia and let's say what we call Australasia, you see this is the second region after Europe. Europe is just a little bit more than 50%. We are a very open and inclusive community. I think this is what you have to keep in mind. Even though I would say our accreditations are extremely prestigious, and I'll talk about that a bit later. For us, everybody is important. We are a big family, and we try to address the challenges of everybody. This is for us very important. Next slide, please. So regarding what we offer our members, I mean, first of all, you have to understand that we are driven by the interest of our members. We have a permanent discussion with them so that we are sure that what we develop, what we create, is in line with their long-term and short-term preoccupations. Just as an example, when the COVID-19 crisis came, we were all lost and we didn't know what to do. In particular, students had to find a job or an internship, etc., etc. So we created virtual fairs, putting in contact students and companies worldwide digitally. And it's been an enormous success, attracting dozens of thousands of students. And you see, this is this reactivity that matters in crisis periods. We are, so as I told you, a peer-based network. So with conferences, with seminars, networking. We have also professional development. We feel that there are many domains in which we have to improve and optimize, let's say, the role of business schools. We have, for instance, created an online teaching academy to give a chance to professors to improve their digital skills. We have also an executive academy to help academics move up the ladder of, let's say, managerial positions within the business school and even a university or a company, etc., etc. Very, very important for us. Research and knowledge is as well something very close to our heart. You certainly know our magazine, Global Focus, that is extremely successful. But we also do more academic work. We are preparing now a book at Cambridge University Press after having published one at Oxford University Press. We also have international projects, leadership and advocacy. We were talking at the beginning, and Gassini spoke about the importance of SDGs. This is something that EFMD has always had very close to its heart. In the 1980s, we were advocating against the shareholder value only as an assessment of the performance of the firm. And we were already advocating for the stakeholder vision, which in my opinion is a benchmark of, let's say, the human dimension, the societal dimension of EFMD that has always been present with us. International projects are also very important. We collaborate a lot with the European Commission. We have projects, and I will show a slide about them, all over the world to try to improve quality in management education and research. We have also global career services through higher ed. If you go to the EFMD global portal, you'll see higher ed. So all our members have an access to a portal to help students find internships or find jobs. It's been very, very successful. Last but not least, accreditation. I mean, as you know, EFMD is one of the main accreditation bodies in the world. We are very proud of that. And in the next slide, you'll see our products and services, if you may. Yes, so you have the portfolio here on the slide. EQUIS is, of course, the accreditation for business school, institutional accreditation, so encompassing all the business school. EFMD accredited, it's for programs. So here we concentrate on bachelor, masters, and doctorates. EDAF is not an accreditation per se, but it stands for EFMD Deans Across Frontier. Here we help institutions that are, let's say, really emerging at the beginning of their quality journey, improve on certain very critical dimensions for them. So here it's more mentoring and advisory program. We have EOX. EOX is a certification and in fact an accreditation of digital courses, moving on to digital programs. I would dare to say that we were very early regarding digital accreditation, because we started in 2005 with CEL, the certification of e-learning. So that's why we were able to very quickly arrange our activity digitally. And EOX, if you want, is in a way the continuation of CEL. Very important, of course, nowadays. And finally, CLIP. CLIP, if you want, is an EQUIS for corporate universities or internal training centers. Very important for us. I mean, only 23 accredited, but very major companies are participating in CLIP. What I could say, I mean, regarding in particular all the accreditations, yes, first of all, what is very critical, very key for us is the connection to practice. You cannot have an EFMD accreditation being completely disconnected from the reality. I mean, connection with practice is essential for us. Internationalization as well. I mean, you see how the world is going, and internationalization now with the COVID, of course, takes different forms, but this is agility and versatility that will allow some of the best business schools to survive and continue to flourish. And the third element, which is connected pretty much with today, is what we call ERS, ethics, responsibility, and sustainability. Those three letters, ERS, are also at the very center of the EFMD game. So if you want, all these accreditations and quality improvement schemes must comply, first of all, with these three elements. This is for us extremely important. Of course, in any case, we look at the local context. We perfectly know that excellence can take very different forms, and this is what we are doing. I mean, if I would summarize that in one sentence, I would say that EFMD accreditations celebrate excellence, but excellence in diversity. We don't want to have a uniformity in business schools. We want to have diversity, because the beauty and the progress is in diversity. Next slide, please. So some of the benefits of EFMD accreditations and certifications. Sorry, excuse me. So first of all, the international recognition of excellence. It's very funny to see some of our, let's say, colleagues also providing accreditation, pretending they're the most prestigious in the world. Well, I don't think this sort of vocabulary is necessarily true. We all do a different type of job, and in reality, when you look at the degree of selectivity, and if we would take the statistics, I mean, definitely EQUIS in particular as no challenger. Remember the Financial Times already 7 or 8 years ago stating that EQUIS is the gold standard of accreditation. And you see some of the quotes. I mean, I was very happy that recently Jean Ruimin stated in the Drucker Forum that EFMD is the most prestigious certification system. And you see also the quote from the Dean of Schulich School of Business. So we are extremely happy to have built within a relatively short period of time a system that has, in a way, be so well adapted to diversity in the world. This is, of course, also a very important product or service to share good practice and learn together. Bear in mind that at the beginning, when we created EQUIS, it was not necessarily an accreditation system. I mean, we did not intend at the very beginning to do an accreditation. It was more a benchmarking among our members. It's only because of the pressure of another accreditation system coming to Europe that it was transformed into real accreditation. But you see, first and foremost, EQUIS and all the other accreditation systems that we have created later on are oriented on benchmarking, sharing good practice, giving strategic advice to business schools, and making sure that there is an acceleration of quality improvement and that institutions continue to move forward, because it's very critical for the world. Business schools are an extremely important element of academia nowadays. Can I have the next slide, please? I told you that we also operate a number of international projects. Just for you to mention a few. So you see, we work in Georgia to improve quality of academic institutions there. In the Philippines, so not very far from Thailand, we also help them internationalize. We work on impact in Latin American. A very important one is IDEA. Making sure that digital education reaches a very, very broad population. We have also a project on gender equality. Currently, we are finishing, it will be finished next year, but we hope to continue. We have a project on capacity building in Cuba, making sure that they get better education in management, etc., etc. So for us, and we work on a number of these projects together with the European Commission, we are very proud to interact all over the world with institutions and help them grow and progress. As you know, CEIBS, the China-Europe International Business School, started with a European project led by EFMD called CEMI, China-Europe Management Institute. And you see today the success of CIBS that has become one of the very best business schools in the world. So we are very proud of that. We are very proud of having helped such an institution to develop and flourish. Next slide, please. I hope I'm not taking too much time. I would like just to show this quote from our friend Charles Andy: "The best learning happens in real life, with real problems and real people." Of course, now we are working digitally, which is not very fun. So that's not completely real life with real people and real problems. But at least we can talk about them. And for us, this is very critical. The academia shouldn't stay in its box. I mean, in its walls, but should go everywhere and irradiate its knowledge through education and research. And by the way, research is one of the very critical points that we have. I've mentioned RBM, the Responsible Research in Business and Management. Our objective is, of course, to to generate a research that is very useful for the management of organizations, not stay among us and publish articles that are read by nobody or almost nobody, and with a very limited impact on real management. So this is clearly going in the same direction as the quote of Charles Andy. Next slide, please. So now I'm coming, of course, to the subject of the day, the Excellence in Practice Awards. EFMD being a bridge between the corporate and the academic world, we decided to develop these awards, showcasing great cooperations between those two constituencies. It's definitely very critical. Again, I mean, I was talking about research before. Academic institutions are, let's say, in the middle of the game for the world, for the constituencies, for the stakeholders. And I think sometimes we have forgotten that. And I'm delighted to see these participations, and we have come across many exceptional cases that illustrate the power of this cooperation. So these awards are for us extremely important. And next slide. You see, you will hear, of course, much more in detail about two of this year's winning cases. It's Life for Good and CEDEP with a gold award. The Association of Entrepreneurship Development Skolkovo and Skolkovo Business School, also a gold award. But of course, over the years, as I told you, we've seen great cases advocating for SDGs, and you have some of them here written, with Unilever and Don Cabral, with AGSM and UNSW, and of course, the government saving banks and Thammasat Business School that has showed really an extraordinary and outstanding, let's say, action regarding sustainable community enterprises. So I'm extremely proud, actually, that EFMD has been, one way or the other, at the initiative of this Excellence in Practice Award, and even more delighted to see the very strong interest that business schools and companies, or at least some business schools and some companies, have for the SDGs. And I hope I will see more and more actions, initiatives being undertaken in this respect. So next slide. I hope I have not been too long, and I hope I was clear enough, because it's a short period of time to discuss. But I would like to thank you a lot for your attention, and I wish you a great continuation of the day with, I'm sure, outstanding testimonies of EIP related to SDGs. I would like also you to take care, and I can't wait to see you again in person, this time in Thailand or in Europe. You're all welcome, of course. Thank you very much, and all the very, very best. I don't do anything.
Internationalization is critical, but the COVID-19 pandemic, it is a challenging task. What do you suggest business schools do to remain globally relevant?
Are you talking to me?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, because there was a problem with the sound. I mean, I was completely cut off, so I couldn't hear anything. Well, I mean, it's an excellent question. I mean, more than excellent, that has occupied our minds during all this period of time. First of all, it's true that for students, very sadly, the international experience has not been at the level of what it had been before. And I think we have to all apologize for that, but I mean, it's what we say force majeure case that nobody could really anticipate. Then I saw many business schools, if you want, finding new ways of interacting with their international partners, of course, digitally. I mentioned what EFMD did to help place students for internships or jobs through virtual career fairs. Of course, we have to reinvent ourselves. That's not easy, but the resilience of business schools has been, in my opinion, exemplary. What matters now? I think it's something very important because we don't know what exactly the future of internationalization will be, at least in the foreseeable future. We are not sure that we won't have 7, 8, 10, 20 waves of the COVID-19. So what are we going to do? I mean, at a certain stage, we will have to transform internationalization one way or the other. But we are all working on that. In my opinion, business schools, because the question was to remain relevant, I think business schools have been extremely relevant, certainly more than many other disciplines during the crisis, because you've certainly experienced all the business schools a drop in executive education. We know that there was a bit of executive education, but digitally. But regarding students, I think the reorganization of business schools has been extremely fast in what I have seen, and business schools have welcomed many candidates that couldn't find a job, that they continued their studies. So we have, in a way, protected the career of people for the future. Now, of course, everything will depend on the evolution of the pandemic, but I'm very confident that we are at the forefront of, let's say, progress in academia.
Yes, I totally agree with you. So if the world change, like if the pandemic is not okay in the next year or the future is not been so great, we have to adapt no matter what. We have to constantly improving ourselves to, keeping up with the world, right, Big?
That's right, G. So on the next occasion, is going to be taking group photo, G's.
Yeah, that's right. So since our rector is here today with us, I would like to take this opportunity to take a group picture with all of you. Can everybody that is attending this event on site come up here on stage, please?
Right, G. I would like to encourage you all to turn on your camera and capture this nice moment together with our rector, vice rector, and also our honored guest today, G.
That's right. So even though we're wearing masks today, but I'm pretty sure you can see our big smile under the mask, right?
Yes, we are smiling by my eyes.
Yeah, smiling by eyes.
So
Yeah,
for the group picture, we actually have a special prompt today. So please. Actually, today we are very honored to have President Eric with us, and it is his birthday today. So distinguished guests, please do join us in wishing President Eric a happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I'm very sad not to be with you in Thailand.
Okay, so right now we are going to be taking a picture. Let's count down from 3, 2, 1. Cheese.
That was very nice, G's.
Okay, one more. 3, 2, 1. Cheese. Very nice.
Okay, thank you so much for our rector and our vice rector and all of our honored guests. Moving on for our next event. For today, we will have a great opportunity to see our EFMD Excellence in Practice Award winning case presentation by our honored team today's G.
Yeah, that's right, Vic. So let's start the day off with the presentation about Live for Good and CEDEP Global Executive Education Club 2021 EFMD EiP Go Award recipient, presented by Mr. Christoph Gong-Sao-Sa, Managing Director, Live for Good, Ms. Johanna Dunlop, Program Co-founder and Director, CEDEP Global Executive Education Club, and lastly, Ms. Muriel Lavarong, Director, Insights and Partnerships, CEDEP Global Executive Education Club. If you're ready, please welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, all, and thank you very much to Dr. Gassini and Dr. Surat for the invitation to participate in this event and showcase one example of the EFMD cases winning the Excellence in Practice Award. So it's really an honor to be with you today and present a powerful cooperation that Eric Cornuel from EFMD just described. And with this, I will hand over to Christophe, who will start presenting our case. So, Christophe. We cannot.
My name is. Okay. So.
Yes, it's fine now.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm very glad to be with you. Thanks, Muriel, for the introduction. My name is Christophe Conceição. I'm the managing director of Live for Good. Live for Good is a French non-profit organization that supports youth across France to launch their social enterprise. So it all started with a powerful vision to lead a new generation of positive leaders to change the world. Back in 2015, when Live for Good was founded, the concept of social enterprise was still quite new in France. But it soon became clear that this new form of entrepreneurship that reconciles social impact and profitability resonated very strongly among young people. However, we also observed that entrepreneurship was not an opportunity open to all, and that it was considerably riskier for those without training or experience. So in 2015, when we began with a first version of our support program, we supported over 20 young social entrepreneurs between 2016 and 2017. They came from all walks of life, from different regions of France, but they all shared one thing in common. They wanted to contribute to a better world. Like Marius. Marius, for instance, is a young architect who developed a unique material, recycled and entirely recyclable. Today, its startup employs more than 20 people and has recycled over 100 tons of plastic waste. So these first 2 years in the Live for Good adventure were very inspiring. We learned a lot on how to lead social entrepreneurs to success, and we began to build a real network of partners. But it wasn't enough. Back then, we had already estimated that each year, thousands of young people wanted to launch their own social enterprise, but only 16% received the appropriate support. So it was clear to us that we needed to do more. We wanted to build a new program that would be able to support more social entrepreneurs at once, a program that would give them the safe space and development structure they need. And in order to do that, we needed to partner with an organization that had the appropriate infrastructure and expertise. Back to you, Joanna.
I think it's over to Muriel. Okay, I'll take it.
I'd say that to align affinities. And one person was key in the process, who is Johanna Dunlop, who is with us today. She was at the time sitting on the Strategic Council of Live for Good, and she had already worked with us at CEDEP to co-design a program with an international association. So with one foot in each camp, Johanna was in an ideal position to connect the two of us. She knew that our campus context could create the community and a transformational learning experience that Live for Good was looking for. So why was Johanna convinced? And what you may be wondering, what is CEDEP? CEDEP is not a business school and it's not a corporate university. It is an international executive education club of companies, which was created 50 years ago by companies like L'Oréal, Danone, which is located in France, in Fontainebleau. We have a campus and a residence. We are located on the same campus as INSEAD, but it's totally independent. Today, we have 18 members worldwide, including in Asia. In India, Tata Steel has been a member since more than 30 years. We're still on the previous slide, Christophe. Please. Our knowledge of the members and their strategic challenges allow us to offer extremely relevant and hands-on leadership development programs. But CEDEP is not only about programs. It is a place where people meet, grow, and succeed together. Over the years, we have built a specific context for open exchange, which was very useful to prepare for our partnership. So this open exchange is, as CEDEP, a key role of the club is that members are non-competitive, which provide a safe space where participants can share openly their strategic challenges in the classroom. Our model with members makes it that they constantly share a collective intelligence. And then our campus in the heart of the forest is a perfect place to step back and reflect. The architect, Monsieur de la Tour d'Auvergne, designed it taking into account pedagogical needs to make it perfectly suited for learning and social interaction. And then, the spirit at CEDEP is that of test and learn. We do not have permanent faculty, and we work with a wide network of learning partners, academics, practitioners who are ready to question and adapt. Nothing comes off the shelf, and all our programs are co-designed. Finally, CEDEP has humanistic roots and a wish to make a positive impact on the world. So with this mindset of open exchange, the spirit of test and learn, and our motivation to act for the good, we were convinced that we could work together with Live for Good and co-design the transformational program they were looking for. The next step for us was to embark all our stakeholders, and this is the next slide. So our managing director, Thomas Intezer, and Jens Meyer, Dean of Programs at the time, talked to our board, who accepted to contribute for the social purpose. Our faculty accepted to donate their teaching, so for free, as a way to give back, and accepted to push their limits and discover a world where they did not circulate. And our members accepted to benefit from exchanges between the young generation and their managers, and also to act for the good. We cut our infrastructure costs by half, the residence and the catering, so that we could accommodate the group of Live for Good social entrepreneurs on campus. And Johanna was naturally named as program director. Next slide, please. Live for Good worked on sourcing the participants, and the co-design started. So here you have an illustration of what one of the rooms of CEDEP looks like. And with this, I will hand it over to Johanna for the pedagogical side and the co-design of the program. Thank you.
Thank you, Muriel. It's slide 10, Christophe. Thank you. Thank you very much. So with all those wonderful conditions, we began the co-creation journey between Live for Good and CEDEP. Excuse me, I've lost my voice this morning, so I hope you can hear me okay. And we started this journey working together, creating a program for these entrepreneurs with the challenges that Christophe described earlier. And this resulted in an 11-day program and 100 hours of teaching. And we're extremely proud that Live for Good calls the program we've created the backbone of their overall program, which Christophe is going to tell you about in a few minutes. So we designed the campus in 3 parts. And together with Jens Meyer, who was the Dean of Faculty at the time that Muriel just referred to, we very quickly came to these 3 particular parts. And I learned a lot from Jens. And I learned a lot about how important it is to create coherence throughout and create a learning journey so that we're not just grabbing bits and pieces and throwing them together, but everything is in the right place at the right time to be able to create the deepest learning and to create transformational growth in these individuals and empowering these young entrepreneurs. So we started with emotional intelligence, and this is a huge strength of SEDEP. And really it's to create, first of all, the conditions where you can be at the once time vulnerable and also confident. And we focus on those soft skills that are needed for any entrepreneur running their own business. Running a business is about working with people, whether it's your board or your associates or your employees, your clients, investors, partners, and all sorts of other stakeholders. And so it's really important to know yourself well, and it's really important to know others and to develop your skills so that you're able to interact in the most constructive manner. And we felt it was really important to focus first on those skills. The second part of the campus, the second module, if you like, we call it savoir-faire or know-how. And really that's about technical skills to do with marketing and operations and sales and finance and HR. And as Muriel said, nothing comes off the shelf in SEDEP. And so each year that evolves in function of the reality of the entrepreneurs that we have in each cohort. And each year the cohort is different in function of the selection and in function of a number of other parameters. And so we adapt, but this is broadly how we structure the program. And then the third part, we call it leaving the nest or the chrysalis. And you know, I came up with that kind of concept because I was so struck by the transformation. You know, a lot of the time the transformation is happening invisibly. You don't see it. But then when we get to the end, when we get to that module 3, it becomes extremely visible and becomes very exciting and energizing because the young entrepreneurs feel it and see it too. And a lot of what we do at that third part of the campus, which is 3 days, is pitching. And so they're presenting. And when you compare how they presented when they arrive to us and how they present when they leave, the transformation is absolutely self-evident. Now, we use a lot of different techniques, pedagogical techniques. I'm just going to walk you through 2 of them. One is a SEDEP classic, and one is something new that we created. Next slide, please, Christoph. So I think many of you are maybe familiar with this paper, which was in the International Journal of Management Education, and it really describes very well what Muriel referred to as putting the strategic challenges, turning them into a learning vehicle. And this is exactly what we do. It's exactly why, actually, I saw the potential for SEDEP to be able to take Live for Good to the next level, because you're working with the reality of these individuals, these entrepreneurs. You're working with them collectively, but each of them feels also that they're getting individual attention and individual relevance. I love the Insight Fair because you're not just presenting. Actually, there's a whole technique anchored in neuroscience behind it, where you're presenting actually 3, 4, maybe 5 times. It depends on what your learning objective is. But each of those repetitions, without responding, you get feedback, but you don't respond. And so that silent reception of feedback gets integrated in very profound ways. And so how you present the 5th time is dramatically different to how you present the first time. And everybody learns. Everybody is always blown away by what they learn from that silence. And so it's a SEDEP classic, and it works every time in terms of learning, but also in terms of community building and getting to know each other. And then the second one, which we created really out of, again, this commitment by SEDEP to adapting and to always being focused on what's happening, how is everybody feeling, how much learning is going on, are we achieving our learning objectives, do we need to change what we're doing as we go along, without causing major disruption, of course. So it's always very subtle. And we came up with this SAS projet. So a SAS in French, it means like a little bubble or a safe space, actually. And I've just realized we have two S's, so they could be safe space. We need to think of something for the A. But really what it's about as well is taking those learnings, that the days are very intense. And they're a mix of theory and application, always this dance. But at the end of the day, we create this space where they can apply the day's learnings to their own projects. And we have them do that together. It could be in a group, there could be 2, there could be 8 in the group. And as Muriel said, the setup facility is actually designed for learning. So we've got lots of lovely spaces where we can put people into small or big groups. And we can have fun, as you see, they're all dressed up, or they can be sitting outside on the lawn. And so that's a wonderful way of them, applying immediately what they've learned, and also working through some of the discomforts, and then coming up with questions which we can capture the next day. So voila, I think I need to hand back over to Christophe next.
Thank you, Joanna.
Sorry, actually, Christophe, no, I have one more slide.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and the wonderful faculty. We can't forget the faculty. Truly, it's absolutely amazing the level of investment that they bring to us. These are our faculty who have become extremely attached to Live for Good and come back each year to teach and to learn. As I said, they're highly engaged. We can see each year that there is growth that comes from the faculty. They call me up and they are teaching, senior executives from a big multinational, and they say, hey, Joanna, do you think we could have, Nabil, or could we have Ophélie, or whoever, one of the students that they've met and been impressed with, come and talk to our executives and shake them up a bit. And so they do that. And at the same time, they tell us that they themselves, are shaken up. As faculty, they are disrupted in their own thinking, and it really helps them get a finger on the pulse of this new generation that is faced with all of the ecological and the social disasters and certainly challenges that we're facing, that business is really best placed to resolve. And so they find it extremely informative and energizing as well. We couldn't do it without them and without their commitment. And now over to you, Christophe. Thank you.
Thank you, Joanna. So the Entrepreneur for Good program is this amazing free-week learning experience, but it's also other pillars in the program. So one of the first pillars of the program is this individual coaching that each entrepreneur gain by joining the program. Each entrepreneur is coached by one of our Coach for Good members, who is himself or herself a serial entrepreneur or the leader of an organization. The second pillar of the program is this amazing network of alumni and corporate partners who offer countless opportunities throughout the year to our social entrepreneurs. So it's dozens and dozens of corporate partners. It's more than 250 alumni. And the third and last pillar is the technological platform that we built with hundreds of resources and all the support the entrepreneur needs to from our community to enhance and to build their program. So today we are extremely proud to say that the program that we built together with the setup has helped over 200 young social entrepreneurs from all walks of life, and 100 more by the end of the year. Earlier this year, we conducted an extensive study to learn more about our impact and how did we affect the lives of these young people. And we learned that 77% of the social startups that we supported are still in business 3 years ago, which is much better than the national average. We also learned that together they created over 150 jobs And we now know that for each euro invested in the program, it generates over 5 euros of value for society. In other words, the program has an outstanding social return on investment. So here are some examples of social entrepreneurs that we supported, like, for example, Maxim, who developed a technical solution for prevention and protection to fight skin cancer, but also to prevent from the COVID-19. We have entrepreneurs like Mathieu, for example, who developed a selective sorting and collection of masks by disabled people prior to recycling. And we also have people like Clarisse, for example, who built a building material made from recycled clothing, for example. And we have a lot of social entrepreneurs in all domains like environment, education, ethical fashion. We also have entrepreneurs who develop solutions to fight social exclusion. And we have a lot of really good examples that you can see, for instance, in our websites if you want.
So this, yeah. Thank you, Christophe. This venture has been extraordinary. We've been overwhelmed by the success, and we are learning every day. The young social entrepreneurs offer us a fresh perspectives. They bring a lot of energy to any of us, between the staff, the faculty, and also the Live for Good team. And we really have an impact and contribute to building a better society. So our next step is to grow the partnership and collaboration and involve even more our members into the venture. Joanna and Christophe, any concluding remark from your side?
Well, we're right in the middle of building the fourth campus. So this is the fourth year we've been in partnership. And it's extremely exciting. We had the 52 entrepreneurs on campus in September, and we'll have them back to us now in December for that savoir-faire, or the know-how campus. And we're really excited and really looking forward to continuing this partnership.
Christophe?
On my side, I'm looking forward to extend the partnership and to develop the program in other regions of France and even in other regions of the globe. So thanks a lot for your attention, and of course we'll be glad to answer all your questions.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So with this, we are handing back to you.
Thank you very much for our Global Executive Education Club. For our previous Group G, they have acknowledged us about the social enterprise in many dimensions, such as the statistic that's showing the percentage that only 16% of social enterprise have been treated properly. And this club has also proven that after training session, the survival rate for the social enterprise have increased to 77%. In terms of our world, this club has done a lot of elevating our world into the next step of being civilized. Up next, I would like to invite Ms. Elena Bonderego from Moscow School of Management, Skolkovo. Secondly, Ms. Diana Kayumova, Program Producer for Global Shift at Skolkovo Business School. Lastly, Mr. Oleg Remega, Head of China Unit Representative in China, Skolkovo Business School, to present on the topic Developing Entrepreneurship in Russia. Please welcome.
Hello, dear participants, dear friends. So let me start. I would like first to thank Thammasat University and EFMD for the kind invitation to this wonderful event. So let me maybe give 3 minutes to give you an overview what actually Moscow School of Management Skolkovo is about, and then we will go to some practice, and Elena will give you a deep dive about our entrepreneurship programs and programs for small and medium enterprises. So our school is the leading business school in Russia, and the CIS is a joint endeavor by the Russian and international business leaders and visionaries. Founded in 2006 and financed by private investors, Our school priorities are defined by the agenda of business transformation, a fast-moving economy, and innovative education models. In 2020, the corporate education programs of Moscow School of Management Skolkovo with over 27,000 graduates were ranked first in the Eastern Europe by the Financial Times. Skolkovo Business School is also strives to build a meaningful partnership with global business schools and associations that bring together educational institutions around the world. Such a partnership allows our school to offer its participants expertise from the best professors and practitioners from anywhere in the world. Therefore, Skolkovo has EQUAS accreditation, and we are very proud of it. And we are a prominent member of such organizations as GNM, GAB-SAN, Unicorn, and surely EFMD. Moscow School of Management mission is to provide training for a successful career in the digital future. It aims at becoming Russia's leading educational provider that uses innovative technologies in management and business. Recently, our school has announced a new 10-year business plan, which plans to create a strong impact in several areas by working towards a set of major goods, compromising together intellectual leadership, customer focus, sustainability, growth, and experiments. Our school sees its role in empowers and develop entrepreneurial talent, fosters international cooperation, and enhances dialogue between Russia and international business, government, and society. Our school includes 11 research centers that study specific topics in various economic sectors, deliver consulting services, develop education programs, and also contribute to the school's intellectual agenda in the whole. If we look at the program, our school has more than 3,000 graduates of our degree programs, MBA and Executive MBA, and also have a dual degree Executive MBA program with Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. Then we do have an entrepreneurial program, Practicum Global Shift and Startup Academy. These numbers are also supported by more than 27,000 graduates of our executive education programs for public and private sectors. Developing tighter connections and building a dialogue with Asia is also high on Skolkovo agenda too. Up to date, over 800 Skolkovo MBA and Executive MBA students studied in Asia, where they received training on how to start a business and design an operational model for various Asian markets. As an example, more than 300 executives and entrepreneurs from different private and state-owned companies have participated in special short-term education programs like Understanding Russia, aimed at analyzing the investment climate in Asia and Russia, as well as the cultural, social, political, and macroeconomic aspects of potential cooperation in the regional business circles. In 2019-2020, together with our international partners, despite the COVID case, we conducted educational programs for such Russian and international companies as VBRF, Rosatom, Sever Group, Russian Post, PepsiCo, Chinese Union Pay, Takeda Group, Samsung, and others. Moreover, our school has provided to be the perfect destination for tailor-made corporate education, where special programs can be developed for specific companies or industries that require a particular focus. We actually adopted the client-centric approach, which allows to listen carefully to the client's needs and offer educational solutions based on their pressing requirements. So this is basically about who we are, a short glimpse. So I would like to give floor to Yelena Bondarenko, educational engineer and general producer for entrepreneurship programs at our school, to give a practical deep dive of how we work with business. So Lena, the floor is yours, please.
Hello, dear Alex, and it's an honor to me to share our experience with you.
And my presentation consists of two parts. The first one is about the design of entrepreneur program practicum, and the second part is our advice and tips how to describe case for in the competition. So the main issue for us, like entrepreneur ecosystem designers, was how to create a special program for Russian entrepreneurs who have to combine their manager skills and entrepreneur mindset. So, and 8 years ago, we haven't any special model for this program in Russia because there wasn't any examples how to create and how to design such program. Should be it academical style or practical. And I'd like to say that we're absolutely practical team, and we try to find out the best model for Russian entrepreneurs, and we design a program practical. So the main model for practicum is creation a space for entrepreneurial desires and entrepreneurial mindset. So we use a lot of communication, a lot of game at our educational space. And first of all, we had to become entrepreneurs ourselves, because if you want to create the program for entrepreneurs, the main question is who you are. And it means that our product is absolutely practical. And we try to meet entrepreneurs with investors, and we try to meet entrepreneurs with designers. We try to meet entrepreneurs with a huge network. And this is a part of our environment, and this is a part of our educational design. So, and now I'd like to show you the special educational engineering of our model. So, and it consists of several model: market, customer, product, business model, and resources. This is one type of design. And the second is the mixed of the several educational instrument, management tools, design making, project development, personal development, communication method, and cultural context and health practice. So, and when we combined such educational technology and topics with our faculties who are absolutely practical, with a special attitude to our student, so the result is that this is space like a boot camp with a new approach for education when all entrepreneurs try to design the new business model. It's absolutely fantastic effect when the entrepreneurs for small business can design, dream, and create new strategy for growth for their companies. And of course, it's not a vertical model for teaching, it's absolutely horizontal. So we and our faculty learn from our students and from our partners. So, and I suppose that ecosystem principle is when there is no special faculty who know everything. The ecosystem principle is when we share our experience, and the main issue for us, like managers and like producers who organize this space, is how to connect and what are the main educational issue for our students. Nowadays, we have more than 800 alumni. So, and our alumni continue to invest their time and energy and support the program. So the reference of the program is more than 70%. And there are some principles for creating an educational entrepreneurial program. So the first one, participants are partners. Everybody should be in educational situation. There is no client. All of us are participant, and a participant is a part of other social and professional networks. And we realize then when there is an educational process for one entrepreneurs, there are more than 20 or 30 or 50 people behind them, their partners, their teams. So that's why entrepreneurial program is absolutely social impact program. And now some tips and tricks and how to become a gold winner. It was a very difficult issue for us describe our approach. So 25 colleagues help us. So it was a huge team, and we discussed a lot of questions, a lot of issue, how to describe, how to present, and 12 text versions we wrote. So the first version, after that we will write another version, and we're trying to understand how to express our approach, the main challenge, and the social impact of our program. So, and some steps to prepare basic text for the case. The first, of course, study the cases of winners of previous years and understand how they did it. So we spent 2 months to read other cases of the winners of FMD, and it was very useful for us to understand what are the main style and what are the main methodology for description. The second step was decide how and in what form we tell about ourselves and prefer a self-description, because this is the original program. This is not academical or degree program, and we had to decide what are the main way to describe us. And the third step, conduct several interviews with the president of the school, the rector, and the chief methodologist to see how and what they think of us, to identify the views from outside. So, and the inside, there must be integrate not a local problem and ambition to verge of a possible. So, and the next point is about the impact. So the main impact for us is that there are more than 83% of our alumni created a new project and launched a new business and transformed their business to a new stage. So it's absolutely totally increase, not for profit, but first of all for new places for job, and it's so, and it's a very important social impact for Russian regions, because the average attitude to entrepreneurship and to business is that you the main target of the business is profit, but not, of course. The first impact from the business is the creation of new opportunity for people to express themselves and to change something. So that's why it was the first point of our social impact. And you can see on our diagram that the others there are others impact results of our program for the entrepreneur ecosystem in Russia. So, and it doesn't mean that there are not a lot of small companies at one moment. At one moment, the main point is that all these entrepreneurs change their world not far from them, and they try to improve the world near them. And we extremely believe that entrepreneur is the main role in our society, and we try to help our students to develop their regions and their company. And some reflections about us. So we first of all, we cooperated with the Association of Entrepreneurship Development Skolkovo community. So now we are not only the educational program, we're the part of entrepreneur ecosystem, and this ecosystem includes education, research. Now we're in process of setup of investment fund and venture studios, and this is the very important point when we try to combine different elements of education, research, case method, real entrepreneurship process, and investment. So, and what to reflect in the case. So we decide that it's very important to describe the reference diagram for the section, and it's important to short our long text because our text was previously 3 times longer than EFMD standard need. So it means that this is very important to short our things to show what we want to describe. And what are the basic schemes we used at our description? First of all, develop personality and developing business, the connection between developing personality and developing business, learning journey. We describe the whole learning journey of our students from the admission to launch their project and admission at the start of the program, because our admission process is a part of educational experience for our students, and continuous development of the program. Practicum is the program, this is almost 8 years old, and we constantly improve and change our educational design, so we can use our approach in description your program. And now I'd like to say that our next step is to be part of global entrepreneur ecosystem, and I'd like to ask Diana to say several words about our next step in our global journey. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Elena. Hello to everyone. My name is Diana. I'm also a part of the entrepreneurial department at Skolkovo. So I want to focus on some of the topics that might be the ideas for our further project, or probably EFMD award, and some of the ideas we want to collaborate with. So as Elena mentioned, our next step in our project was to support entrepreneurs in their next steps. And their next step is to go global. So in response to that task, we were trying to develop a new educational program, Global Shift. And while doing that, we were facing with two challenges. And one was, and still it is connected with the creation of the new educational standard for global entrepreneurs. Suppose we have one for general entrepreneurship with the EFMD award, but we never have one for the global entrepreneurship. And as a part of this standard, there is an experiential learning in the format of deep dive into different entrepreneurial ecosystems. And so the second challenge is connected with building a new network of entrepreneurial ecosystems worldwide. And in our portfolio, we already have 5 of that. We have China ecosystem, India ecosystem, Germany, Portugal, and finally United Arab Emirates. So if you feel that you also want to find the way out with that challenges, probably the next entrepreneurial ecosystems we are going to unlock is going to be yours. For instance, we have a kind of developing an expedition to France ecosystem. So now we heard the SDGs case. So possibly we have some fruitful collaboration in that possible unlocking the entrepreneurial ecosystem in France. And another thing I want to tell you about in this upcoming summer, we are going to make an unlocking the ecosystem of Russia. So we want to invite you to our country, especially in the period when Russia is shifting from business periphery, especially in some of the topics such as IT, fintech, and food tech. And now we are not only copying the business models, and as Elena mentioned, we create a new ones. So possibly it might be interesting for you to discover a new entrepreneurial phenomenon of Russia. So if you are interested, just scan this QR code and send us your contacts, and we will come back to you with all the details. So that, I guess, might be the full stop of our presentation. Thank you so much for inviting us. It is always a pleasure to talk and to share our experience with EFMD community. So thanks a lot. It was the best beginning possible for this week. So any questions you have, guys, we are ready to answer.
Okay, thank you very much for such an informative lecture, a presentation that actually get us to know more about Moscow School of Management, Skolkovo, with the key to the mission that empower and support leaders to their path to success. Okay, so moving on to the last presentation about Thammasat Model, Sustainable Community Enterprises, 2019 EFMD EiP Silver Award recipient, presented by Thammasat Business School, Assistant Professor Dr. Nopon Ruangwanit, Director of Integrated Bachelor and Master Degrees Program in Business and Accounting. If you're ready, please welcome.
ท่านอาจารย์ครับรบกวนเปิดไมโครโฟนด้วยครับ
Okay. I'm sorry. I mute my microphone. So once again, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, the host and other participants, for having me to speak this program. So this program mainly was created about 16 years ago under the program that's called Integrated Bachelor and Master Degree Programs in Accounting and Management under Thammasat Business School. So we call it 5 years program since the students take 3.5 years in bachelor and another 1.5 years in master degree concurrently in the same time. So with the ambitions of the school in that time, so we try to challenge our students to apply the knowledge and skill in management since they have learned different classes in the school. So they're going to have the stage in which they can apply management skills. And secondly, so the applications that they enacted have to be impactful to the society, to the community. All right. So where currently there are about 300 community enterprise that my students has been trained to improve not only business and their life. And third ones, so we concern about sustainability. So once we improve their life, develop the business. So we're going to ensure that such business model have to be sustainable for longer times, not only in the shorter period of time where the students come and connect with the community. So finally, we take a decision to have 3 credit courses for the programs. So let me share the screen and share the wisdom about this program with you. So this is what we call Thammasat model under the Thammasat Business School. So we call it partnership for practical learning ecosystem. So as I mentioned, so as a student are trained managerial skills, and then they have to go to community, connect with the community people to identify the competencies gap and investigate the product and services where they can further improve and develop to be a better version. And finally, they have to rethink and redesign the business model to offer such new version of product or services to the market. Okay, so doing so we believe in our philosophy of Thammasat University, since we regarded as the university of people. This is our reputation. So finally, what we do, what we create, we're going to ensure that we impact to the environment. We have the positive impact to the people in different communities in order to reduce the opportunity gap, in order to reduce or minimize the income gap across the nations, and especially we focus on different communities. So as we record ourselves as we love Thammasat, because Thammasat teaches us to love the people. That's why, according to this philosophy, we create this program for the students under 5 years programs. This is our premise. The business is the crucial mean to generate the income and improve quality of life. As I earlier mentioned, so students have to apply their knowledge and skills in business and accounting in the different communities to finally improve their life, okay, improve the business, improve the product and services to achieve the sustainability in long run with our mission. So we're going to engage TBS or Thammasat Business School students in improving communities' business in rural areas, especially in rural areas, to improve their life, so as to increase their income and a better life for their quality of life. So once we get into the community, so students with the mentors, with instructors, with the lecturers, mentors, when we get into the fields in different communities, what we found out, this is the challenges or problems that we found. The product and services that they created so far, there's no brand. There's no brand. So there's no brand awareness or brand recall in the market. So that's a root cause of unsellable product items. No communication strategies, of course, because they lack of marketing strategies, communication strategy that communicate all these product items to the market. So no marketing plan, outdated product designs, a high product cost. So no surprise that since the people in communities, they don't have a lack of knowledge of finance or accounting. That's why they cannot control the cost of productions. So all the students have to train them in terms of creating the simple financial statements and how to record the numbers, like accounting practices, for them to ensure that they understand all the production cost items and the selling price to maximize the gap between these two in order to gain the profit in long run. Okay, low product qualities, since somehow they have to face with different challenges in the communities as well, that they cannot predict the sales forecast or the supplies or ingredients that they used in the production process. So that's why they cannot maintain the quality of the products. And no online channel, since like majority of people now shops online, especially post-COVID. So if they don't have the online channels to offer the products to the customer, that would be the main obstacles to bring the even high quality products to the market. So in this case, we're going to train them, or somehow we're going to partner with the marketplace platform like Shopee and Lazada to connect this platform with the local products. So finally, the communities can offer this on the marketplace channels to and reveal it to the customers. Bad packaging, so outdated design. So we're going to bring in the design knowledge as well, not only in the business and the design knowledge to improve, and even develop a new product packages. So finally, package would attract lots of attention from the customer. As what I mentioned, no accounting system. So then, as students, as they take many courses in accountings, they have to train them in terms of accounting skills, record the items to ensure that they understand all the items that incur costs, and then suggest the recommend the appropriate prices to ensure the maximum profits. Incomplete cost information. So accounting would help them record the different items that incur costs, and limited distribution channels. So students, once they get into the field, they have to design the distribution channels, online and offline, to ensure that the smooth experience in distributing and delivering the products to the end users. And finally, as what I mentioned, so students have to, according to cost calculations, the product values, the brand values, to finally maximize the price. So according these two modules, so they can get maximum profits and return to the communities. So these are all the problems and challenges that students have to overcome. But anyway, there's one of the biggest challenges that all the students have to overcome is to connect them with the local people. This is the most challenging, since the local people don't know the students somehow, so they don't trust the student. And then if you imagine the generation gaps, right? So the people in the communities with demographics, which are about baby boomers, and the kids from university or college, the generation C or younger. So somehow the most challenges is to fine-tune their attitudes, fine-tune their practices. So since the local people have their own unique way of producing product or services, somehow the student would like to bring in a new management theories, a new management concepts, and the technology tools to improve the productivity. So this is the more challenges. So finally, we need to find the partners in this case to bridge in the beginning, to bridge the communities that they are ready, that they have readiness to change. That's the first phase. And then such community will be selected to meet with the students. So we have partners here. The first one is Community Partnership Association. It's an association in which there are a lot of community business gathered together to finally improve the business performance, improve product and services, improve the life. So in this sense, they can finally improve the profitability. Another partner is the bank. Government Saving Bank is one of the largest state banks with the missions of improve the life in rural areas as well. So they have one of the positioning for this bank is about social bank. So it's the bank that initiated different programs that improve life in the rural area. So we collaborate with these two partners. So these two partners will bring in the communities with business with the readiness and ready to change, ready to be transformed to meet with our students. Okay, this is three main pillars that we believe that with all these three pillars that bring to our program success. The first one, students and advisors. As I mentioned, so students cannot work alone. They're going to each team that will divide into different teams, different groups. Each group will be assigned the advisor, like me as one of the advisors to them, to ensure that they are working on the right track. They have a right model, they have a right business model, business transformation models to the local communities. So each community, of course, they have a unique characters, they have a unique problems and challenges, so they need different transformation models in this case. So we as advisors need to provide a guidance for them. Secondly, community enterprise in rural areas that, as I mentioned, these community have to come up with the readiness for change. So they got to have a local wisdom, like the products that is produced by, all the foundations of local wisdom that they have accumulated for a number of years, and with the unique skills that couldn't found elsewhere. Okay. Secondly, somehow they need to have community leaders that could be an influencer to other people in the local communities, and such leader need to believe in change, believe in transformations, and they're going to open for new concept, new theories, new technologies to build the transformation. Finally, as what I mentioned, we have a partners, community partnership association, and government saving banks as well. So they not only provide the communities for us, but also they also provide the mentors. So from community partnership association and the banks as well. So students have to work with advisors, communities, community leaders, and the mentors from the business sides. So these are three pillars that we need that with all this, so that would lead to our success. So this is our philosophy. We got to deal with real problems, real solutions that's customized to each particular communities, semester long, okay, with the specific KPI the student have to meet. So why semester long is not just only doing the sake of showing we have CSR, but we take it seriously. That's why we allocate a whole semester, 4 to 5 months. Okay, and each group have to go to the field, go to the communities each time, about 3 to 4 days at each time, to firstly to connect, as what I mentioned, to connect with the local people emotionally, make them trusted in their credibility, in their management skills. So that's why we take quite a long time to build this or to accomplish this program. Significance and sustainability. Okay, we ensure the social impacts, ensure the better life that students have to help them to build a better life or improve the better life, and also they got to leave the site or the community with the sustainable models. Even without the students, the local people have their own tools, have their own models to sustain what they have taught, what they have practices for a longer period of time. Okay, this is one of the examples here. This is the previous version, okay, of the banana, sun-dried banana with honey. So this is the previous version. So you see that because of the production itself, that cannot, according to the previous production process, they cannot guarantee the numbers of products to be produced. If they cannot guarantee what's happening, so they can't guarantee the supplies to the modern trade. For example, if we're going to bring this modern trade, so modern trade need a promise that, okay, so the local community need to produce up to this number of items at each period of time. Secondly, take a look into the the packaged. It's not attractive. That could capture the attention from the customer. Okay, from such investigation, we found the gap, as what I mentioned. The new versions. Take a look. Each banana is enclosed one by one, right? To ensure that the quality of each banana is sustained for the longer terms of consumption, That's why each banana have to contain, or in each particular sachet, and redesign the new box, the new package that contain all the banana and offer to the modern trade. So for these revisions, redevelopment, redesign of the package would result in more than 100 in terms of increase in profitability immediately. That would such 100, more than 100% profitability increase will return to the community to improve their life. Okay, and this is another examples as well from tropical rice. If Thailand is the major country who export rice, we have the different rice species as well. So from this rice is converted to energy bars, like this rice meal. So from these new versions of rice, this product can be exported to international markets, and this have gained lots and lots of revenues to the communities as well. Okay, this is one of the advertising materials. Okay, and this is with the partner with Amazon as well, is one of the prominent coffee Thailand coffee chains, which are now expanded into other countries as well, with their strong distribution channel in the region. So we use the Amazon arms to distribute our products or community products to other countries in the regions as well, especially in rice meal. And this is another example, is the neck pillow. If you can see neck pillow. So neck pillow, inside the neck pillow, it contains the herbal ingredients. So when the user is going to use it, they're going to warm a little bit. So finally, such heat will stimulate the smell, the odors from herbs. So once the user can breathe in, so you will feeling relaxed, especially when you are stressful with your work, you are stressful in different meetings. So you use these products for 5 minutes, then you will get better once you breathe in the smell of the herbal ingredients in the, like for example. And finally, this product can become the souvenirs of Thammasat Business School as well. Okay, for example. So finally, Thammasat model, they're going to evaluate. This is how we measure whether the projects has been, achieving the purpose. So first, we got 2C and 2S model. The first C is community center. So we're going to ensure that the product and services improvement program that students proposed going to fit with the local community, fit with the local peoples. Second, the community participation. So we got to ensure that the students, once they're going to improve their productivity, for example. So the process doing so, the activity that they design need to involve the local people in the early stage. So once they involve in the early stage, so the local people can learn different process, different tools and techniques so far at the end, from beginning to the end. So once they left the community, we're going to ensure that the community have the tools for improving, for the next stage after the student leave. And one is significant change, or change in profitability, as what I mentioned, change in product and services offering to the market, change in marketing programs as well, channel of distributions, and finally, sustainable mechanism, as what I mentioned in the beginning. So they students need to design the sustainable model and leave it with them. So they're going to ensure that such model will be sustainable for the long run. Okay. So from our success, this program has been, regarded as the GSB nationwide projects. So finally, it could be expanded into different other universities, but basically initiated from our university, but now expanded out to other universities as well. And for the government side, so they create the volunteers for community business. For these two expansions has been achieved on the foundations of our programs, basically. That's all about the Thammasat model, okay, that we have been done for 15 to 16 years. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Assistant Professor Dr. Nopon Rongwanit, Director of Integrated Bachelor and Master Degree Program in Business and Accounting. Next, if you have any questions, the floor is open for Q&A sessions. So please feel free to type down the chat box and I will shout it out and ask our guests.
That's right, Vic. So like previously, don't be shy. You just type down the question and you want to know the answer in the chat box down below.
That's right. So I see the first comment coming from Miss Jip saying, hi, how do you ensure that projects developed by students are sustained after students left the community for the Thammasat Business School or Dr. Nopon?
Yeah, probably this question is for me. So we have the follow-up programs as well. We have the follow-up programs. So there's two ways. First, the second group of the following semester can pursue the continuity of the programs that created by the previous group. So to ensure the longer term, even longer terms in sustain the programs, that's one way to ensure, since the second group will pursue the continuity of the program. Secondly, we have the follow-up programs closely in the early stage to ensure that the local people, or especially in the leaders, can sustain the program, can ensuring they ensure that they can use or utilize the business model that student design for each particular community. So we still have a close contact after the student left.
Okay, thank you very much. So that is a confirmation that when the project is done, we don't just let the project done like that. We follow up and make sure that the project stays sustainable, right, Vic?
That's right, G. So another comment from Alexis saying, congratulations to Christophe, Johanna, and Muriel. We'll look forward to further sharing great practice with all of you. Bravo, bravo, Florence Giorgio EFMD EiP Award. So it was such a nice comment.
This is not actually a question, but this is a very, very lovely comment.
That's right, G.
Okay, so right now I'm seeing the second question from Miss Panya Pat PS. In today's workplaces, we observe generation gaps. When you work with young social entrepreneurs, do you see any special qualities that set them apart from those older than them? This question is for CEDEP.
It was kind of be like tough questions.
It's a little bit hard, this one.
Thank you. And I think the main difference is a strong sense of purpose that young social entrepreneurs have. And for example, in some of the matching situations we do with between the young social entrepreneurs and our participants from executive programs when they are on campus, as a result, sometimes the young people get offered a job seat, saying that you are very exceptional and why don't you join a big corporation like ours and have a nice way of life, a good salary, and you could innovate also. And usually the answer from the young person is, no, I want to do my project. This is really what I'm looking for. And so this brings really a notion of how powerful their sense of purpose is. Joanna, would you like to add something to this?
No, I completely agree with what you say, Muriel. In Live for Good, they call it political. So they revolt against the social and the ecological, damage that they see and suffering that they see, and they want to change it. So I think, and they do that through purpose and through entrepreneurship by being actors themselves. So they're pretty remarkable people.
Okay, thank you very much. So another questions from Tatana to Skolgovo. He's quite specific.
Yeah,
Okay.
very specific.
So the question is, successful small business owners are usually very confident in what they do and have accomplished. When they're trying to scale up, some or many things have to change. How do you convince them to transform? That is our questions.
Thank you, Tatana, for the questions. I will take a step in to answer it. Usually we have, as Elena mentioned, this educational journey for all our participants. Initially, when they step into the program, they already have a quite tough situation in their businesses. So in terms of their business models, they need to transform. So they already understood that they need to change something. So we only accept on the program those people who have these difficulties in their businesses. For instance, we have 3 types of difficulties. First part is connected with opening the business. The second difficulty is connected with the case when very experienced entrepreneurs, they faced with the running out of the market. So they are feeling that in a couple of years, they are going to be on the this plateau level of their businesses. So they are not going to raise anymore. And the third part of difficulties is connected with the global scaling up. So Russians, especially Russians entrepreneurs, they are thinking very locally, because our country is huge, and going beyond the country is not the first idea how you going to raise or transform your business. So difficulties with going global are connected with they think that they don't know a lot of people abroad. They don't know how to sell abroad. They don't know how to better focus their product in the market. So there are a lot of questions they need to tackle with. So that's why in all these 3 situations, our participants, they already know that and having the feeling that they need to change.
Right?
That's right, G.
Okay, and I think that's conclude our Q&A session for today. Lastly, I would like to invite Associate Professor Dr. Surat Thirakaphiban, Vice Rector for Administration, Thammasat Campus and International Affairs, to come up and give us a closing remarks. Please welcome.
So it is so great to hear from all of the EIP or Excellence in Practice Award winners today. There's so many things that we learned, but I think there are 3 key factors that have to be present in order for the learning and development process to happen. May I summarize the 3 for all of you? First, I think the hardest part is the initial contact. In order for you to learn with the community and help together to create business growth, I think making the initial contact will be the most challenging task. But that is not all, because the learning process also requires that the learning journey must be carefully designed. And with that, it includes the fact that the learning process has to be very engaging, have to be innovative, and many times it requires that the people who design the curriculum have to put themselves onto the shoes of the people who are actually conducting those small businesses. Lastly, I think in order for business growth to be realized, change has to happen. So implementing the transformation process is perhaps going to be the key for the success for all of these businesses. So thank you everyone for joining us today. And let me finally thank Professor Eric Cornuel, EFMD President, for joining us, the colleagues from Live for Good, CDEP, School Vocal, and also Thammasat Business School, particularly Thai PBS for helping us to broadcast this to the global audience. And lastly, everyone who joined us for today's event. And hopefully I'll be seeing you on the next seminar created by both Thammasat Business School and also EFMD. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Associate Professor Dr. Surat Thirakhapiban, Vice Rector for Administration on Thammasat Campus and International Affairs. For today's event, we have been through a lot of informative knowledge about EFMD and also Thammasat model, which is very interesting to know further. On behalf of MC of Thammasat, I would like to wish you all a pleasant journey, and also thank you all for being with us today. And I'm Shin, Rung Pedripawadi.
And I'm G, Thariya Pritithamakul. I would like to thank you all very much. Without you, today's event would not have been possible. And before we leave, I would like to say this out loud. You're going to be seeing QR code on the screen right now that please kindly do the evaluation. So if we held this event in the future, it will be even better and better.
That's right. It's kind of be like, improvement for our futures event, which is brilliant, geez.
Yes, and I think that's it. That is it for today's, and we hope to see you all again. For today, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ